Wait, you won't believe what happened when I finally met my dad after 2 decades. It's a story of reunion, hope, and then the ultimate betrayal. Buckle up, because this is going to be wild. Hey everyone, Christine here. So, as you guys know, I've been searching for my biological father for basically my entire life. 20 years is a long time, right? I always felt like something was missing, a piece of my puzzle. They would run errands together, go to the movies, grab coffee, and it started to make me slightly uneasy. When she arrived, she looked nervous, avoiding eye contact. I drove to my dad's apartment, ready to unleash my fury. How could two people I loved so much inflict such pain on me? How could they be so selfish, so careless with my feelings? I felt like I was living in some kind of twisted nightmare, a soap opera gone horribly wrong. I focused on my work, my hobbies, my other friendships. I started seeing a therapist who helped me work through my feelings of anger, betrayal, and grief. A crazy, unbelievable story, I know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever experienced anything like this? I'd love to hear your stories. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, comment your thoughts, subscribe for more crazy life stories, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I realized that I couldn't change what had happened, but I could control how I reacted to it. I learned to forgive not for their sake, but for my own. Forgiving them was the first step for me to move on and live my life and be happy with myself. As hard as it was, as heartbreaking as it was, I knew that was the only way that I was going to make it through it. I always heard stories like these, and I could never imagine how bad it could be for people that are actually going through them. I haven't spoken to Sarah since that day at the coffee shop. Maybe someday I'll be able to forgive her, but right now, the wound is still too fresh. I learned a valuable lesson from this experience, that family isn't always blood, and that sometimes the people you trust the most can hurt you the deepest. But I also learned that I am stronger than I thought, that I could overcome even the most devastating betrayals, and that I deserve to be surrounded by people who love and respect me. This story is definitely one for the books, and I know it's something that I will never forget. However, it also helped me grow into the person I am today. I eventually ended up at my mom's house, collapsing into her arms. I told her everything, sobbing uncontrollably. She held me tight, offering words of comfort and support. She was angry too, of course, but mostly she was just worried about me. She told me that I deserved better, that I shouldn't let their betrayal define me. When he opened the door, he looked surprised to see me. I couldn't even bear to think about them, let alone speak to them. My mom was my rock, helping me navigate the emotional turmoil. She reminded me of my strength, my resilience, my worth. She helped me see that their actions were a reflection of their own flaws, not of my own inadequacies. It took me a long time to process everything, to come to terms with the fact that my father had married my best friend. It was a bizarre, heartbreaking situation that I wouldn't wish on anyone. "Christine, what's wrong?" he asked. I didn't even bother with pleasantries. "You and Sarah," I spat out. "You're together, aren't you?" He looked down at his feet, shamefaced. "It just got happened," he mumbled. "We didn't mean for it to," he continued, but I cut him off. "You didn't mean for it to?" I screamed. "You're my father. She's my best friend. How could you do this to me?" He tried to explain, to apologize, but I wasn't listening. I couldn't hear anything over the deafening roar of betrayal in my ears. He told me how she was so easy to talk to, how she was always there for him, how she understood him. I could barely even look at him. The tears just kept coming. I took a deep breath and asked her straight out, "Is there something going on between you and my dad?" She hesitated for a moment, then burst into tears. "I didn't want to hurt you, Christine," she sobbed, but ... yes, we're in love." I was speechless. I couldn't breathe. My entire world started spinning out of control. My best friend, The person I trusted more than anyone in the world was in love with my father. The man I had been searching for my entire life, the man I had finally found, was betraying me in the most unimaginable way. I felt like I had been stabbed in the heart, not just once, but a million times over. The pain was unbearable, a crushing weight that threatened to suffocate me. This was my ultimate worst nightmare come true, and I couldn't believe this was happening to me. I tried to brush it off, telling myself that they were just bonding, that it was normal for them to become friends. But then the whispers started. People at work, mutual friends, even my mom, started asking if there was something going on between them. I vehemently denied it, of course. Don't be ridiculous, I would say. He's my father, she's my best friend. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. A seed that began to grow with each passing day, fueled by the constant murmurs and the increasing secrecy between my dad and Sarah. The fact that my own brain was trying to rationalize and fight against this made it even harder. The feeling of dread started creeping into my veins every day, and my anxiety started to become more and more apparent. I didn't want to lose both of these people that I really loved, and I could feel myself losing them both. My mom was amazing. She raised me all by herself in this bustling city, and I owe her everything. But still, there was this nagging question, this burning curiosity about the man who was my father. After years of dead ends and frustrating searches, I finally found him. Using some old family records and a lot of online digging, I tracked him down. He lived in the very same city as me. Can you believe it? I was so nervous, but also incredibly excited. I messaged him, and he responded almost immediately. We agreed to meet for coffee, and honestly, my hands were shaking the entire time. This was it. This was the moment I had been waiting for my entire life. The possibility that this could be another person that has the wrong idea about me or my intentions was always a factor in my thought process. And it was really a scary one at that. But I was ready, or at least I told myself I was. The meeting was surreal. He looked like an older version of me, which was both comforting and incredibly strange. We talked for hours, catching up on lost time. He told me about his life, his work, his hobbies. He seemed genuinely happy to have found me, and I felt this overwhelming sense of belonging that I had never experienced before. We started meeting regularly, going for dinners, exploring the city together. It was like I had suddenly gained this whole new family, this connection that I had longed for so long. I introduced him to my friends, including Sarah, who has been my best friend since kindergarten. Sarah was always there for me through thick and thin, and she was just as excited as I was about finally meeting my dad. She instantly clicked with him, they shared the same sense of humor, and it felt like she had known him for years. Everything seemed perfect, almost too perfect. Little did I know, the happiness was just a facade, a temporary respite before the storm that was about to hit me, leaving me drowning in a sea of confusion, betrayal, and heartbreak that I never could have imagined. This will be a moment that I will live with every single day for the rest of my life. I just know it. Things started to get weird subtly at first. My dad and Sarah would spend more time together, just the two of them. One day, I decided to confront them. I called Sarah and asked her to meet me at our favorite coffee shop. I stormed out of the coffee shop, blinded by tears and anger. I left his apartment and drove aimlessly around the city, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The next few weeks were a blur. I avoided my dad and Sarah completely. Eventually, I decided to move on. I knew that I couldn't let their actions control my life. Years have passed. I still see my dad occasionally, but our relationship is strained. So that's my story.